In this video, I'm going to be building the best possible auctionable team right now in NBA 2K23 Myteam. This is going to be a squad you guys can purchase from the auction house, so no free cards or cards that you can lock in for, like the Dark Matter Kareem lock-in, the Terry Dishinger lock-in, the Dikembe, the Eddie Jones, those lock-ins. No cards like Kevin Garnett, the free cards from Season 6, the Mike Banson, Billy Knight, Purvis Ellison, Danny Ferry. None of those cards will be allowed to be used on this squad. Just going to be building what is the best possible team you guys can build from directly purchasing these cards off the auction house. So at the starting point guard position is going to be the Dark Matter Cade. Let me know in the comment section down below some of your guys' favorite cards off the auction house right now, and of course let me know what you guys would change about my team and what you guys think about it as well. But at the starting point guard position is going to be the Dark Matter Cade. Like I said, I do think he's the best point guard in the game, even if we are counting all the cards. He's 6'8" with a 7'1" wingspan. I mean, he just plays such good defense in game because his player model is really nice. He gets a lot of paint stops down low. They gave him a 97 3 ball, 96 mid-range, tons of Hall of Fame shooting badges on this Cade card. I mean, he's got 30 hops because he's a Dark Matter, so that's going to be super insane about this card. They also updated his height because he was 6'6" on his earlier pink diamond card in the year, and now that he's 6'8", that's just going to be so much more OP at the point guard position. Yes, his jump shot isn't great. It's going to be a little bit slow. It kind of reminds me of a Scotty Barnes type of release, Sengun type of release, sort of like that, where it's a little bit baited, but they just play so well in game because they're such good defenders. Cade's going to be really good at going to the basket as well with quick drops off one and front clutches. He's going to basically be unblockable, and then he's got the Trae Young escape, the Kyle Lowry size up, so his movement is going to be really good for your 6'8" point guard. He goes for about 550 to 600,000 MT on the auction house right now, at least on Xbox. And then at the starting shooting guard spot, it's going to be that man, Tracy McGrady. Since we can't go with Terry Dishinger for this auctionable squad, we know that T-Mac is going to be in this lineup. I mean, he's one of the best cards in the game, maybe even the best card. He's a small forward shooting guard, 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan. Now, I do think Terry Dishinger overall as a card is a little bit better than T-Mac, but that's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother video or just topic. But I think T-Mac is still one of the best cards in the game, and he's basically a perfect 6'8" 2 guard. Great jump shot, great dribble six, basically perfect stats and badges. I mean, he's going to be the starting two, really nice next to Cade, and he does go for still about a million MT, depending on what console you play for. I've seen him end for a little bit lower, sometimes 950, and sometimes I've seen him end for even more than that, 1.1 or 1.2. Now, at the small forward position, we already have really good offense. I feel like we need that lockdown card, and that is going to be the Dark Matter Bill Russell. Easily the best defender in the game. I don't think that's even a debate. I mean, his animations are great, but the main thing about this card is that he's 6'10" with a 7'4" wingspan. He's got a great player model, and he's basically got like 99 in every single defensive category: 98 block, 95 steal, 97 lateral quickness, 96 perimeter, and a 99 interior defense. And then he's got every single Hall of Fame defensive badge. I mean, this card is just absolutely ridiculous on the defensive end. And then even offensively, it's not like he's a bad card. He can drive to the basket, hit a wide open three. He can even move a little bit. They gave him the D-Mitch size up, the Kobe Bryant escape. Like, he's got that 86 ball handle, Hall of Fame quick first step, and clamp breaker. So it's not like he's an absolute cone. Yes, he's not going to be, moving too much on the offensive end next to a card like T-Mac, but if you need him to score the ball, he can definitely create his own shot here or there. And overall, he's going to be probably the best small forward in the game, either the best or the second best in my opinion, especially cards that you can buy off the auction house. Now, he does go for around, I think, 350k, sometimes a little bit cheaper, like 300,000 MT, which is not a bad price for maybe the best small forward in the game. Now, at the power forward position, this is where we get really cheesy, and we're going to be going for the pink diamond Taco Fall at power forward. Another Celtics player on the lineup. He's around 350 to 400,000 MT, probably about 400,000 MT right now. And then we got Yao Ming at the starting center position. So I know it's really cheesy, and I know it's pretty toxic, but if you are trying to build the best auctionable team in the game, I think this is what you guys should go for, because, I mean, if you compare a 7'6" Taco with an 8'2" wingspan next to Yao Ming at the center position, I mean, how are people going to score inside on the paint? And you also got Bill Russell Cade for the perimeter and wing defense. And then you got Tracy McGrady, probably the best offense. Him and Terry Dishinger share the best offensive cards in the game. I mean, most people probably still better with T-Mac because the jump shot is a tad bit slower and just easier to green than Terry Dishinger. So all around, this is going to be the best possible auctionable starting lineup. And I think if you were to even count every card in the game, I think this is the best starting lineup in the game. Where stuff gets a little bit interesting is when we look off the bench. This is where I would say the lineup does become a little bit different because you can't use Terry Dishinger off the bench. You can't use Dikembe. You can't use Kareem. You can't use Purvis Ellison. So that's like 4 cards right there that would potentially be on the squad if you could use, you know, lock-in cards or free cards, whatever you want to call them. At the backup point guard spot, it's between Devin Booker and Jimmy Butler, and the reason why I'm going with Jimmy Butler is because at the shooting guard position, we're going with Ricky Davis, and Ricky Davis is going to be our offensive card, and he's basically just going to be our T-Mac, but off the bench. I'm not saying he's as good as T-Mac, but I think he's on that level offensively where he can create his own offense and be the only main scorer off the bench. I do want to go with Devin Booker because he's so fun to use and really good offensively, and I think you could make the argument Devin Booker is a better point guard than Jimmy Butler, but I think in the backcourt, it's better and smarter to have Jimmy Butler next to Ricky Davis. Jimmy's going to give us that really good defense. I mean, his stats and his badges are pretty much perfect, and then offensively, he can still score when we need to. Like, he's a very underrated offensive card. Jump shot, not that terrible. He's got good dribble sigs, quick drops off one. He's 6'7". All around, probably the second best point guard in the game, in my personal opinion, behind Cade. And then off the bench, I think Ricky Davis is the second best auctionable shooting guard in the game. I like him over the Kobe's, the Clydes. Who else is auctionable? Because Eddie Jones isn't auctionable. There's another free one. Billy Knight's not auctionable. Glenn Rice isn't auctionable. So I think the second best auctionable shooting guard in the game, in my opinion, is going to be Ricky Davis. I mean, he's just so elite on the offensive end. He's one of the best 3 hunters in the game. He's 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan. Elite all around stats. But the main thing about this card is going to be his jump shot and his dribble sigs. Amazing dribble sigs, great jump shot. He's got the quick drops off one. I mean, overall, he's just an absolute beast at the shooting guard position, and I think is going to be our backup too. Now at the backup small forward position, I guess there is a couple different options you could go with. Scottie Pippen, LeBron, Jonathan Isaac, even Giannis. Not a terrible option, but in my opinion, I think the second best auctionable small forward in the game is the pink diamond Jonathan Bender, and I think next to Jimmy and Ricky Davis is going to be that really tall small forward that we do need, because if you look at the starting lineup, we got 6'8", 6'8", and 6'10". Off the bench, we only got 6'7", 6'7", so we're a little bit, like, only an inch smaller than we're a little bit smaller on the bench so far, also because we're not going to be able to run Taco and Yao Ming, so I feel like having that 7-foot small forward in Jonathan Bender is going to be super helpful. And if Ricky Davis does get boxed, or he gets a little bit tired, or he needs some help, we have Jonathan Bender to kind of be a secondary ball handler. Now, he's not going to be doing too much of the ball handling work, but if you give him the ball, he's still got really good dribble sigs, he's got great dunk packages, and I do overall like his jump shot, and I think he's the second best auctionable small forward. I forgot to say prices. Yao Ming is about 900,000 MT, maybe a little bit more, because I know a lot of people want to know these cards prices. So yeah, Yao Ming around 900,000 MT. Jimmy Butler right now, I think he's around 400, maybe 450, could even be a little bit more. Ricky Davis is actually super cheap for how good of a card he is. He's about 150 to 175,000 MT when I'm recording the video. He's such a good card for that price. And then Jonathan Bender is about, I would say, 80 to 90,000 MT. Might have even gone down with us getting Poku yesterday in my team. So yeah, I'd go with this as my 1, 2, and 3. I think overall we got good defense and especially offense as well. Now for the backup power forward position, I think the backup 4 and the backup 5 is pretty obvious. The fact that we can't use Kareem and we can't use Dikembe, I think it's just got to be D-Rob and Kristaps, right? You guys can let me know if there's maybe any other bigs I'm missing, but I don't think there's any bigs that are kind of close to these cards. You guys can let me know. Am I missing a big? Am I missing a power forward or a center? I really don't think so, because I think the duo off the bench of Kristaps and D-Rob is going to be super nice to have. I mean, the fact that we got a D-Rob card who's an amazing defender, he's fast, got a decent jump shot. You pair him next to Kristaps, the 3-point specialist, the card that can really space out the floor. I think the combo is going to be really nice. We got height. I mean, yes, we're not going to be as tall as Taco and Yao Ming. If you wanted to space it out a little bit more, you could do something like this, where you start D-Rob at the 4 and then bring Taco off the bench, or you could even do this, start Kristaps at the 4 and then go Taco at the backup 4 and D-Rob at the backup 5. There's a bunch of different ways you can run this lineup. You could even maybe switch, you know, Jonathan Bender and Ricky Davis, or Jonathan Bender and Bill Russell if you wanted to. But I think all around, for me personally, I think this is going to be the best auctionable team in the game. But let me know in the comment section down below, what would you guys change about it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.